Okay, it's 4 o'clock. Thank you. Welcome to everybody who's here this afternoon, parents, teachers, administrators, grandparents, employees. We're going to call this meeting to order and get started. The first thing on our agenda is our roll call, and we have all 7 board members present, so this meeting is open for business and legally binding. Next, we need to approve the agenda. Okay, is there discussion about the agenda? All in favor of approving the agenda? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. Item number 4 is our invocation and pledge of allegiance. This afternoon, our invocation is going to be said by Mr. Michael Baker, and then the pledge of allegiance will be led by Dennis Mitchell. Both of them are students at CIS. If you two guys would stand up and lead us. You can stand at the microphone if you want to, or you can just speak loudly if you want to. Yes.
Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for letting us all be here today. Lord, thank you for guiding and protecting us today, Lord. Please guide and protect us all through this meeting, Lord. Thank you for letting everybody be here, and thank you for loving and protecting us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you guys. This afternoon we have several visitors, and we'll just ask each one of you if you'll stand up at the microphone when we call your name if you'd like to speak. First is Miss Brittany Yergin. During the 16-17 school year, Brittany completed the process to become a National Board Certified Teacher. In December of 2017, she was notified that she passed all the requirements to become a National Board Certified Teacher. National Board certification was designed to develop, retain, and recognize accomplished teachers and to generate ongoing improvement in schools nationwide. Brittany is one of only 2 teachers in our district who have received this prestigious accomplishment, and the other one is Miss Harrison. She's here today also. Miss Yergin, would you like to say anything?
It was a strenuous process. It took a long time to complete. It took a lot of work, a lot of dedicated hours, a lot of time, a lot of help from people here, people at my school, my family. I'm very thankful that I went through with it, and I look forward to renewing in 5 years. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Miss Harrison, is she?
She's back.
Is Julie Harrison out there with her? Yes.
your hand.
Yes.
Hey. Are we on?
If you want to speak about your art students.
Oh, yes, that'd be perfect. Is it okay if I bring them in?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right, y'all. Hello. Nice to meet you. Today I'm going to show you some art students that were part of the State Superintendent's Art Show in Montgomery. And every year I participate in this, and it's really awesome because they take wonderful student art and they display it for the whole state to come see. So I'm going to call them out to you. All right, y'all ready? First we have Olivia Driver. She did a beautiful rendition. This is an oil pastel piece of the state of Alabama. If you want to walk up there by that flag for me. She was our state winner for the bicentennial. So she and I both got a special award on her behalf, so I was very excited about her. Next we have Zosie Ray. Zosie, oh, she was in 2nd grade. This is Zosie. Zosie's in kindergarten. She did a rendition of the Alabama state flag. Go stand by Olivia. Hold it up nice and tall, sweet girl. She was also part of the bicentennial contest. And we also have Riley Ellison. Riley, turn your bird over, sweet girl. Turn it over. There you go. This is the yellowhammer, which is the Alabama state bird, and she was in our contest. These 3 pieces were made with oil pastel, and she's a 1st grader. So those are by 3 for the state. Very good job. Next, we have Braxton Davenport. Braxton did a melting crayon piece of a scarecrow. Hold it up nice and tall and go stand by Riley. Good. This is just in the general art section of the contest. Eric B. Eric did a rainbow. He is in kindergarten. Go all the way down to Braxton. There you go. Good job. This is Jarrell Oliver. Jarrell is not holding his art today, and there's a good reason why. His piece was selected to be on the year-long display at the State Department. Wow. Mary Porter. This is Mary Porter Thornhill. She did a beautiful red bird. Come on in, sweet girl, and stand by them. She's in kindergarten this year. And last but not least, this is Addison. She is one of my winners from last year, and her picture has been on display at the state for the whole last year. So she's another state winner. So we are very proud of her. Thank you all very much. Okay, come back out this way.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Good job. Good job. Come on, Braxton. Come on, love.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is recognition of the Science Olympiad team from Clanton Intermediate School. So Ms. Pitts is going to introduce her sponsors and recognize the students.
Hey, I'm proudly here today with our Science Olympiad team, and I must say that Clanton Intermediate School's competition, or participating in this competition, started long before I got to Clanton Intermediate School. There are 2 ladies that we need to recognize. Trish Karn is the leader of this group, and Brooke Sullivan is her cohort in crime, I guess. But these 2 ladies without receiving any supplement in any way, stay after school to work with these children to make sure that they are prepared for this competition. And they will stay till after 4 o'clock in the afternoons, and then they meet at school at 6:30 in the morning on the day of the competition, and off they go. So these 2 ladies need to be recognized just for their loyalty to the school and to these students and to the program. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to them. They're more knowledgeable than I am.
That I want to share to begin with, which some of you may not know, is that my participation in Science Olympiad began at Adair as part of Miss Lori Patterson, who started the Science Olympiad there, and she asked me to help out. So now we have been at Clanton Intermediate for 17 years, so that was 20 years ago, something like that. So we have been participating in Science Olympiad for many years, and so what we're seeing here today are just kind of the fruits of the labor that you put in 20 years ago, and it just carries forward. So we appreciate what you started there. But we are here to recognize our students today and the accomplishments that they had. In case you are not familiar with Science Olympiad, it is a competition. It takes place at Jacksonville High School, and our thoughts and prayers are with that community today after all that they went through yesterday. But the competition takes place at Jacksonville High School, and our school competed with 33 other schools, so there were 34 schools competing there, and they participate in 28 different events. And some of those events are study events like space or weather, dinosaurs, elements, reading a map, spelling, all kinds of things. Others are make and do events where they have to actually make things there, or they have pasta transporter, which they have to build a vehicle out of pasta and take and participate there. So lots of different, a broad range of categories of different things that they have to compete in. And I told the kids that my goal for them this year was to place in the top 10 in all 28 events. And I thought that was a lofty goal. Well, in 19 of the 28 events, we placed in the top 5. So out of that, we had 4 first place finishes and 7 second place finishes. So they did really well at the Olympiad, and we are very proud of them for their accomplishments. Again, I could not do it without this person here beside me. Miss Sullivan is a great person to help, and I appreciate all that she has done. I would like to recognize the students by name, just because I feel like that they've earned that recognition. So I would like to call them by name, and you can just kind of stand up quietly where you're at when I call you. Michael Baker. And some of them were not here, but I'm going to go ahead and call their name anyway. Brody Brand, Jaden Bryant, Anna Burnett, Elena Cantley, Elijah Doan, Brooke Freeman, Ethan Jones, Zayden Jones, Caitlin Kilburn, Chase Lowe, Larissa McKee, Dennis Mitchell, Jasmine Nash, Brianna Peralt, Macy Pierce, Lily Roselle, Tyler Staggs, Carson Stone, Catherine Stone, Marin Vaith, Gracie Vines, Morgan Z, and Ella Young. And a couple of other groups that I do want to say a thank you to, and that is the parents for all of their hard work in helping our students to prepare. The students worked really hard. They bought into it, you know, to begin with. When they're chosen as part of the Science Olympiad team, you know, we're saying it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of outside school work. You know, we want you to make the commitment to do the extra work, and so they have bought into it, and their parents have helped them out, and we appreciate their support. And I also want to thank Ms. Pitts for her support for our Science Olympiad team. There were 2 different days throughout the school year that she let me keep all 24 students in my classroom, and we just had all-day study events, and which helped tremendously in preparing for the Science Olympiad. So thank you, board, for allowing us to be here and for recognizing us today.
Could I just say one quick thing, and I apologize for taking a little bit of the time, but this is a shy, intelligent group. I would like for all of you to stand up and turn around and smile at your parents. Y'all listen up very quietly, just very quietly. I'm going to let you go out this exit this door if you'll just listen to this one last thing.
They just pointed out our team placed first overall.
Oh,
in
yes.
case you didn't know. First place out of 34 teams, and they did it by long shot. Yeah, by long shots. Yeah, they placed. I mean, they did really well, and yeah, they scored many points above the second place team, so they did a great job.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Some of them forgot their medals today. All right, you just step this way like that.
That makes me very happy.
Joe, that room needs to stay open anyway.
Daddy didn't come to see me. Did you? Okay, let's see. I don't know Kelsey Broadhead. Okay. All right, I was trying to just give them a minute. Next on our agenda, we want to recognize Dylan Jackson, and I'm going to ask Kelsey Broadhead if she will stand up and introduce him and tell us a little bit about his honor.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey Broadhead. I'm the 2017 and 18 Spelling Bee sponsor for Jemison Intermediate School. And this young man is Dylan Jackson. He is currently in the 6th grade at Jemison Intermediate School. And he was, surprisingly, this was his first year to compete in the Spelling Bee. He competed with over 100 students at Jemison Intermediate School for the school bee and won. And then he moved on to the county bee and competed with 20 to 22 contestants at the county bee and won. And then last Saturday we went to state and he ended up placing 5th out of 53 other counties. So we just want to recognize him for his first year. And just let him know that we are very, very proud of him and wish him the best of luck next year.
Mr. Nix, would you like to say anything?
I'm good, but I will. I want to thank Ms. Broadhead. That's your name, man? Yes. I want to thank Ms. Broadhead. I don't know names. I want to thank her for taking this group of students. I hired her back in the summer, and over the summer I told her, I said, you're going to do spelling bee. You're going to do it. And she said, yes, sir. And I'm the lucky one here because I got a great teacher and a great student and a great dad. Stand up. Stand up, Dad. This dad is a committed father. He helps us at the school. So next year we're just going to ask Mickey to be in the spelling bee. He might get through the first round. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Nix. Let's see. The next thing on the agenda is Ms. Julie Harrison was going to address us about the celebration of Chilton County, along with Mr. Scott.
I am so excited to be here today and representing education in our new committee. This is Derek Scott, and he is one of the chairmen of the 150th celebration of Chilton County, and he has a couple of statements and requests about the board about that.
Okay, well, I just introduced what we're doing. This is the 150th anniversary of Chilton County being formed as Baker County originally. We have a committee to prepare for the celebration. The celebration will be in October. I'll leave this with you. Some of the material we're preparing, literally some of it will be produced this week, and we'll start getting material to distribute and have it in. The main issue I wanted to ask this today was we plan to have the celebration at the park, at the library, at other facilities around on the 27th of October, and we wanted to just ask that if it was possible for us to use the Adair property for parking or any other overflow type things if we needed it. At this time, we don't have any other plans or that would need it except for maybe overflow parking. But that was the main reason to come here today. I think that's it. That was the main thing.
Can you just do a request in writing so that that can be followed up on and
Okay.
addressed.
Okay, I'll just write it.
Mhm.
Send it, email.
Either way, out here.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Ms. Scott.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
You're welcome. Thank y'all for having us.
Multi-talented.
Let's see. Okay, the next item on the agenda includes minutes of a meeting I was unable to attend. So I'm turning this part of the meeting over to Mr. Joe Mims, and I'm going to recuse myself from this item.
Okay, we are approving the minutes of March 15, February 23, and February 20, all 2018. Do I hear a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Any corrections? If not, all in favor, by the uplifted hand. Opposed? Motion carries. This time I'll turn it back to the board president.
Thank you, Mr. Mims. Item 7 is our finance department. We will have monthly financials and bank reconciliations presented by Ms. Williams.
Okay, and I'm presenting February this month. February is where we should be at 42% of all of our revenues and expenditures. For revenues, we're at 46%. For expenditures, we're at 41%, so we're doing well. And our budget for this month was supposed to be 1.86 for our monthly operating fund, and we're a little bit over 2 months operating fund, so we're doing very well. That's what I have.
Any questions?
She said over.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item 8 is personnel, and we will try to do those collectively. If I could have a motion to approve items A through F in personnel.
So moved. Second.
Is there discussion?
I have a problem with new hires because in 2014, we had Mr. Crumpton to come from the State Department, and he happened to condemn a pavilion that was built by the person that we're recommending to hire. And I have a problem with that hire. And my other question is on non-renewals. Is this all the emergency hires on the non-renewal list?
Yes, it is.
Well, there was one that I asked about at Isabella that was an emergency hire, and we didn't repost the job, and they were actually teaching out of field, and I did not see them on the list.
We have not finished all of our non-renewals. There will be some more at other board meetings. So if there's one that you have a question about, if you will see me afterwards.
Okay. But I have a problem with us hiring somebody that built a building for us that
May I
it got
address
cut
that,
off.
Ms. Patterson? I got a call, actually from Mr. Glasscock, to meet the building commission inspector at Thorsby at the pavilion. I went up there, and when I got there, he said he was condemning the building. And I asked him why, and he had a piece of rebar about that long in his hand, and he said, there's no foundation under this building. That was a 12-inch concrete slab. He said, there's no foundation under this building. You don't have the building commission stamp. You do not have an architect draw it. So, the board had an architect draw the pavilion, although it was built. And we met his requirements. Now, he didn't, when he drew or modified the plans, he didn't add any foundation. He added 6 columns down the middle. My comment here is, Mr. Jones built the pavilion according to the plans he was given, and the architect did not add what the building commission inspector said was missing. He added something else. The building commission inspector also condemned a greenhouse that the FFA had bought, came in a box with engineering plans, engineering drawings to put it together. And it was assembled, had plants in it that the FFA was growing for sale. They were at the FFA convention. He condemned that building because it did not have the building commission stamp of approval. Long story long, we wound up spending nearly $50,000 to get the pavilion stamped by the building commission by adding 6 columns, and the building commission stamp of approval on the greenhouse. And again, I emphasize, Mr. Jones built the pavilion exactly according to the plans he was given. Thank you.
Well, the plans he was given,
That doesn't matter. He built them according to the plans he was given. That's all that matters. I call for the question.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr.
Mims.
Mims. He was given was drawn up out at our career tech. And I feel like.
Hey, since
if we're gonna hire
since a
somebody
name
in
was mentioned,
construction,
we need to go into executive session. Before we
I
keep
make a
talking about
motion,
that
we
stuff.
go into executive session.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of going into executive session? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. If you'll exit into the hall, and then we'll bring you back after we discuss this. Or can we have a motion to go back into regular session? A second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we're now back in regular session. Okay, so we had a motion, second, and discussion. All in favor of approving the motion to approve items A through F under personnel? Any opposed? So it's 6-1 in favor. Originally?
Joe made the motion.
Jim Shannon,
Okay,
second.
thank you. Okay, item number 9 is teaching and learning. We have a motion to approve teaching and learning request A through E that we will do collectively.
So moved.
I have several questions on credit recovery plan. That is not talking about Saturday school here, is it? And then the Dibbles test security policy, there is a sheet in here that we're asking, I'm assuming, our employees to sign. Can parents or students not log on to this website and print this out? Because it's my understanding they can. If they can, why are we asking our teachers to sign this saying that they won't? I mean, our teachers are being held accountable for something that I don't feel like they can protect. I think this is very unfair to our teachers, very unfair to them.
We have test security policies for all the tests that we give. We've just never addressed dibbles. And I spoke to Ms. Harrison, who's at the hospital this afternoon, and she said that you were in the meeting. I thought I understood that she said you were in the meeting where that was discussed.
At Jemison,
I don't remember the meeting was held.
I wasn't, the only meeting that I was in that dibbles was discussed was when I went to the payroll thing at Jemison Elementary, and they were talking about the dibbles. And she did say that we were gonna keep this plan, and she asked them not to print out exactly what this is saying, but it's my understanding that a child or a parent can go to this website too and print it out. And I think this is unfair to teachers to ask them to sign it. I mean, it's unfair.
So I'm not sure website to print what out.
They can print out to the Dibbles 6th edition, the test that, and you know, education is, I'm not a teacher,
No, I'm just
but
asking.
I understand that they can print this test out and give it to the students before the students have this test.
Ms. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you? Oh, can you enlighten us?
Basically what I do with the Dibbles is just set up the yearly calendar, but a lot of us were unaware that there was a back door to go in and do that, and to print that out. And all this policy is saying is they're not gonna use, we need accurate data on our children, and if we practice with them before they take the test, then we can't get an accurate picture of them on how to help them. And we use this to look at dyslexic factors. And that's all this is just don't go and print it out and don't practice with the children, because then we need accurate data so we can help these kids and put them in the appropriate classes and get them the appropriate interventions.
I
That's all that
understand
plan is
that.
saying.
I understand that, but I don't want our teachers signing something that they have no control over at home.
Well, they're
A
not.
parent or a child can do this.
They're agreeing not to review it before
If
you're
they're agreeing not
after
to
this.
review it, not the parent.
Yeah,
Well,
let's go
I don't
mention
think we
parents.
have to get, I don't think there's a teacher that we have to get to sign this. Do we not trust our teachers any more than that? I mean, I have a problem with this form, asking teachers to sign this. I do. When
Ms.
parents
Price, we
can go
had
in
an
there.
issue this year with
Well-
dibbles. With some of it, you know, so
Well, I just
that's
tell you-
that's how that came up.
And
Being a
Ms.
parent.
We sign off on every test we give. That's what we've been doing back there all day today. Signing off. That's all we do is sign pieces of paper. Tracking the test, using the test, and promising not to practice the test or to take items from the test so that we can give our children an advantage.
Well, and I understand that, but dibbles is not something that is mandated by the state, and there are some parents that would not think dibbles is the greatest test, and I would be one of those parents because my child had to go to speech, and with dibbles reading so fast, he slammed his words back together and had to go to speech a second time. And I just think this is unfair to our teachers to ask them to sign it when a parent or student can go on there and get it themselves. I just think we're defeating the purpose. I mean, maybe we need to find another test to get an accurate testing of our students. I just have a problem with it.
Okay, is there further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the teaching and learning A through E? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries 6-1. Item 10 is school and shop request, and we need a motion to approve the school and shop request A through H collectively.
So moved.
Move it.
Is there discussion?
My question on this is Saturday school. We voted a couple months ago not to count anybody with absences. They didn't have to have a doctor's excuse. They could bring in a parent excuse. We would accept it because of so much sickness. I don't see why we need Saturday school because we're already giving them the opportunity to make up the work.
Mr. Boulware's here. I would refer to Mr. Boulware, who handles our Saturday school.
Okay.
Well, we had some questions last semester. We had some students who needed some extra Saturday school, and we just felt like we might need to have it in place.
Well, that was last semester. This semester with sickness and all.
As far as I know, was the date, the cutoff date on excuses, March the 2nd?
No, I thought, and I may be wrong, but I thought we was going, I don't know. I thought we was going this semester, we weren't gonna count them or whatever.
January, February?
February, end of February.
Yes, February 28th, my understanding, was the cutoff for those.
So beyond that would be March and April? Some
And May.
seniors also in March and April?
Okay. Well, I know we don't let them go just to get a better grade because they want to, so sooner or later we have to hold parents responsible for getting them to school and all instead of offering Saturday school like they like. But that's my opinion, so.
Is there further discussion about school and shop request? Okay, all in favor of approving the school and shop request A through H collectively? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Item 11 is old and new business. Under new business, I would like to say that unfortunately we received a notice of resignation for Mr. Jackson as board attorney effective at the end of this present board's term. He will be resigning November 2018. And so just to make everybody aware of that, we hate to see him go, but he has officially turned that in.
That's the letter that I passed out to each of you.
We have the privilege to vote against it. We've been Mr. Jackson a long time, haven't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And other new, I would like for us to look into the science teachers. We have an academic supplement. Them getting the paperwork to fill out to get that academic supplement. I know when I was on that committee, that was one of the things that we talked about was that Science Olympia. And I don't understand why they're not getting a supplement. Maybe they're not aware that it's out there.
We sent it out to all the principals, Ms. Price.
Well, they need to get the form.
They need to be aware.
Then you had asked me, Mr. Glasscock, back at the Leproy Career Tech Extravaganza to come up with a plan for third-year students at cosmetology again, because I've asked that over and over, and I have that plan drawn up now. If we can get together, or if I need to meet with Mr. Darren Norman, or whoever you want me to get with, I have got that plan.
It would certainly start with Mr. Norman as a career tech supervisor for the county, Ms. Price.
Well, I just know you asked me to get that plan,
Well,
so
you
I've got
asked
it.
me if we could do third-year cosmetology, and I said it would certainly start with Mr. Norman.
Well, I didn't hear that part.
I understand that part.
Then I would like for us to reevaluate in the safety meeting the other day. We heard from 2 principals that their major concern were their outdoor trailer units on the campuses. And I would like for us to reevaluate our building monies that we're doing or whatever, because I'm with them. Trailers sitting on campuses, we need some buildings to put those students in, and I think that's a bigger priority than maybe some of our other things that we've got, and I would like to ask for us to reevaluate that.
Okay.
Okay, also under old and new business, I just to make the board aware, we have started working on putting together a safety task force for 2018-19 school year. There was that work session, and then a questionnaire is being sent out to all the administrators to compile all that information so that we can improve our plan for next school year as we move forward. Is there anything else in old and new business? Okay, item 12 is the superintendent's report.
I would like to make a recommendation that the board approve a lease agreement with Head Start. I sent you some, all the board members have that information, all the way back to an email that was sent to you on February the 27th. I understand there's a lot of talk out there concerning Head Start, so I'm sure there'll be a lengthy discussion. But there's a motion to approve the lease agreement with Head Start.
So moved.
Is there discussion?
I have a couple things just to clarify. I guess I didn't really know until I got here today, but this $300,000 grant is not to the board, it's to the city of Jemison, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And so they're asking us to lease a piece of land so they can establish Head Start on that land.
That is correct.
I was talking to Mr. Jackson about this. The thing that concerns me is under the insurance, it's under number 9, if y'all want to look at that, please. 9, number 2. Well, 9A2. It says that the CDIHS, which is, I guess, another name for a Head Start, that they would provide the liability insurance up to $1 million per occurrence, $300 million in aggregate, naming landlords additional insurance. So my question was, if there is a serious problem, and let's say Head Start is sued for $4 million, and they win, are we going to be responsible for paying any of the difference over that $1 million? And Mr. Jackson said if it was a very serious situation, we could be liable. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is what I said, and also it would depend, of course, on the liability of the school system. Did it do anything to create the incident that caused the suit to be filed over?
And I think you said our insurance would cover up the difference, would make up the difference.
Yeah, if the board were sued over something involving the ownership of land, then your insurance company would come into play also. Well, but as I mentioned, yes, excuse me for interrupting, but as I mentioned to you, there are no guarantees in the legal field.
Right.
You don't have any idea.
Well, here's my concern. Since it's not going to be the Board of Education's Head Start, it's going to be the City of Jemison's Head Start, I'm very concerned that we're putting our neck out in the future if there is a problem. That's just my concern. I want to throw it out there.
Sure.
That's my concern too, and we've got we're going to have no control, no authority. And does these X's down here mean that we're letting them lease it for free?
What section are you at there, Pam?
4, where it says rent, CDI has agreed to pay, and the sum of, and it's just got XX dollars per month. So they're not paying us anything?
It was to be a minimum payment, as I understood it, just $1.
Yeah, $1 per year for the remainder of the term of the lease.
Have we checked with our principals to see if they could use this property, this land, at the school, on the campus?
Sure, Mr. Mills.
Head Start has been on that property before. And it was done, the board didn't charge them anything then. It was simply board property, there was a house there and it was torn down. Head Start moved the trailer in. The board let them use the property free of charge until that Head Start program ceased to exist. So we're not setting precedent.
And we agreed in the fall to lease those same trailers on that same property for $1 to Kids First, and then they've moved.
I'm not concerned about the dollar. That's not my concern. My concern is putting ourselves out legally.
Right.
Insurance, because I'll ask Mr. Mims a question. In the past, when we had Head Start on that property, was it a part of the board or was it the city of Jemison?
It was new. I really don't know. It was not part of the board. I know that.
Okay.
I don't.
So that's my concern. I just think we're putting our necks out for.
Right, and I mean just for the space issue. Like if we were going to need that space, we approved it in the fall anyway for it to be used by somebody else.
I was approached by Mr. Reed, Mayor Jemison, to sit down with a meeting with Head Start. The CDI that you mentioned is an interim company now that manages Head Start.
Okay.
I looked at it from a standpoint of the board and what our contribution would be to serve 3- and 4-year-olds. I thought it was a pretty good option. We have it in Maplesville. This will, in all likelihood, close the Maplesville, and that will be the central location. We visited locations in Thorsby, and then we came back to the Jemison location with the mayor. The mayor's, again, the city of Jemison has to be some in-kind donation for Head Start to be successful. So I guess we have to weigh out whether or not we're going to, serving our 3- and 4-year-olds is more important than holding the piece of property which hasn't been used for years. But I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Well,
Again,
now we have our pre-K classes too, so I mean, there's not a need like there used to be before we started the pre-K classes.
Is there a need for Head
4.
Start?
Well, I'm sure there's a small, but I'm saying not as great of a need as there used to be with the pre-K classes. And too, we have grown.
But Head Start serves 3-year-olds, preschool is 4 and up.
But the community up there has grown too, and I mean, this year, they usually use the ball fields with the city, and the city ball fields can't be used. So they could use that, I mean, we're just landlocked there.
We have 40 acres between Highway 31 and the elementary school. Now it's not developed, so we do have 40 acres.
That and the concern with the insurance and all, I'm with Mr. Shannon. Got a problem with it too.
Do you want to say anything, Ms. Coppage, about Head Start?
I mean, I'll be glad to say as much or as little as you need. I think Head Start is going to give us the opportunity to serve 3- and 4-year-olds, where the OSR program only allows us for the 4-year-olds. And I know we have a pretty extensive waiting list. Just based on serving students that have IEPs in that area, we often have difficulty finding a place for them to be immersed in language all the time. We're serving them outpatient because they just don't have daycares and preschools in that area. So I think that's certainly a way that we can allow them to be in a school setting. I think it's important for our kids, but it's important for all kids, and dipping down to 3 is helpful as well. I'm not sure if there's anything else I can add to that. But
Does it serve all kids, or how's the selection?
They have their own selection process because they are not part of the Board of Education. They do that. I have got some information I can share with you. They have questionnaires that they have the parents fill out. They have a family liaison that works with them to make sure that they are attaining what they need. They could probably answer your questions better than I can, but I do have some information I can share if that would be helpful.
So we don't have anything to do with Head Start?
No, sir. Any child, ages 3 to 5 that needs services of special education, we serve them if they're at their house, no matter where they are. So we do have a working relationship with them just because sometimes our children are there, but we don't have any jurisdiction.
Thank you.
Is there further discussion?
Do we lease land to anyone else?
We do, actually, Mr. Jackson, I guess you could speak on this. And you speak about liability, Mr. Shannon. We just recently leased the property, the old Adair property, to the county commission for 99 years. So I guess if the liability is an issue, then we're probably going to be liable. I won't be, but I would assume that somebody would be liable for the next 99 years if there were an incident on that property, since the Board of Education does maintain title to the property.
You might also, the SPAN program is on our property.
It is.
And we have a working agreement with the cooperative
Extension.
Yeah, there's the extension service with the old Adair kitchen, and they have put an awful lot of money into that program we, as far as I know, they don't pay us anything.
Correct. We also loan a building to Wallace College in Selma for the GED Center, which is at the old grammar school. So we don't, we lease it, it's been leased for so long. To my knowledge, there's no paper on that. But again, if there were to become a liability issue at that property, then I would assume, Mr. Jackson, that we would probably be liable at some point as well. So I don't think we can say that we're never going to be liable for something. So, but yes, we do lease some property out to other entities. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, can we have a motion to approve the lease agreement with Head Start? Oh, I do, I'm sorry. And we had a second, we had discussion. All in favor of approving the motion to approve the lease agreement with Head Start? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Item B under 12 is Kids First program. It's a motion to approve the Kids First program to be housed at the GED Center for the remainder of the 17-18 school year.
So moved.
May I have a second? Okay, that motion dies due to a lack of a second. Yes. Can we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there a discussion?
Just need to know the reason for
We're
going.
going back to it.
We're back, I'm not saying that as a character
Right,
of somebody,
no.
good name or character, or what are we going to executive session?
Could be a legal pending matter.
That's all we need. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, can we have a motion to go back into regular session?
Move to go back to the regular session.
And a second? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
Madam President, I request that my motion to approve the Kids First Amendment be reconsidered.
Okay,
I resubmit that motion.
okay. So we have a motion to approve Kids First program to be housed at GED Center for the remainder of the 17-18 school year. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, do we have discussion?
So this Kids First, we already have, we're just approving to move the site.
Yes.
Okay.
You have an agreement that you approved some time ago. It would not, as the amendment is proposed, it would not be changed in any way except the location.
Okay.
Is there further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the Kids First program to be housed at the GED Center? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries 6-1. Item 12C is a motion to approve the resolution to recognize April as Autism Awareness Month.
No move.
Second.
Is there discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the resolution? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. And then lastly, we need a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of adjourning? You are adjourned. Thank you.